Have you ever noticed how exhausted you feel at the end of a day when you barely accomplished anything that truly matters? You wake up already tired, drag yourself through your responsibilities, and by the evening, you convince yourself that you simply do not have the energy to chase your goals. You tell yourself you're burned out, overwhelmed, and mentally drained. But what if the truth is uncomfortable? What if you are not tired at all? What if you are distracted? Imagine a student who constantly complains about being exhausted. He says he has no strength to study, no motivation to prepare for exams, no drive left to work toward the future he once dreamed about. He insists that life is demanding too much from him. Yet when you look closer, you notice something revealing. 5 hours a day vanish into his phone, endless scrolling, short videos, notification, mindless entertainment. The problem is not physical fatigue. The problem is scattered attention. His mind is not overworked. It is overstimulated. Every swipe steals a fragment of focus. Every notification fractures his concentration. By the time he finally sits down to do meaningful work, his brain feels foggy and restless. He mistakes this restlessness for exhaustion. But deep down, there's a powerful truth waiting to be faced. You don't lack energy. You lack focus. Energy is not always about sleep or physical strength. It is about direction. When your attention is pulled in 100 different directions, you feel drained because your mind never settles long enough to build momentum. Focus creates momentum. Momentum creates progress. And progress creates motivation. But distraction destroys all three. Distraction is subtle. It does not attack your dreams directly. It whispers. It tells you to check your phone for just a minute. It convinces you that one short break will not hurt. It makes comfort feel productive. And slowly, without you noticing, your hours disappear. The student does not realize that his exhaustion is self-inflicted. He believes the world is too heavy, yet he willingly carries the weight of constant digital noise. He thinks he needs rest, but what he truly needs is discipline. The tragedy is not that he is tired. The tragedy is that he has potential. Potential buried under scrolling. Potential suffocated by distraction. And if he does not wake up soon, he will continue blaming fatigue for a problem that is rooted in focus. There comes a moment when the illusion begins to crack, when he sits alone in the quiet and feels a strange anxiety rising in his chest, a whisper that something is not right. The assignments are still unfinished. The goals are still distant. And time seems to be moving faster than ever. He starts to sense that the exhaustion he complains about does not come from effort, but from avoidance. Avoidance is heavy. It sits on the conscience and drains confidence. Every time he chooses scrolling over studying, comfort over commitment, he feels a subtle loss of self-respect. That loss is exhausting. It builds quietly, layer by layer, until even simple tasks feel overwhelming. He wonders why he cannot focus for more than a few minutes, unaware that his brain has been trained to crave constant novelty. The 5-hour habit has rewired his attention span. Silence feels uncomfortable. Stillness feels unbearable. Deep work feels impossible. And so he escapes again, back to the very distraction that is stealing his future. But deep inside, a harder truth begins to surface. Distraction is the real enemy. It does not shout or demand attention like hard labor does. It seduces, it entertains, it numbs. And while it keeps him occupied, it slowly erodes his ability to concentrate on anything meaningful. He begins to realize that his mind feels weak, not because it lacks power, but because it has not been disciplined. Muscles grow through resistance. Focus grows the same way. Without resistance, without intentional control, the mind becomes fragile. The suspense builds in his life as deadlines, a pressure, but he still reaches for the phone. He feels fear, but he still chooses the easy escape. A silent battle is taking place within him, a battle between immediate pleasure and long-term purpose. One side offers comfort now, the other offers fulfillment later. The frightening part is that every small decision strengthens one side and weakens the other. He begins to understand that he does not lack energy. You don't lack energy. You lack focus. The statement echoes in his thoughts like a challenge. If that is true, then the solution is not more sleep, not more complaining, not more excuses. The solution is reclaiming control of attention. But reclaiming control is uncomfortable. It means sitting with boredom. It means facing unfinished work. It means admitting that time has been wasted. That realization creates tension, because accepting responsibility means he can no longer blame fatigue. It means he must confront himself. And confronting yourself is far more difficult than confronting any external obstacle. At this point, he begins to see the crossroads clearly. A life ruled by distraction, or a life shaped by intention. The realization is unsettling, almost frightening, because it strips away all the excuses he has used to justify inactivity. He understands now that every notification, every short video, every idle moment on his phone is not harmless. It is actively choosing to steal his future. The path of distraction is seductive. It promises comfort, ease, and temporary satisfaction. But in reality, it leads only to stagnation, regret, and dreams that slowly fade into distant memories. He imagines where he could be if he reclaimed those lost hours, if he turned his attention toward meaningful work instead of fleeting entertainment. A subtle fire begins to grow within him, the kind that rises from clarity and responsibility, a fire that makes the comfort of distraction feel unbearable. It is in this tension between fear and potential, between delay and action, that true transformation begins. He starts to recognize that the battle is not against exhaustion or circumstance. It is against the habits and choices that have divided his attention. Distraction is not external. It lives within him in the small, seemingly harmless decisions repeated over and over again. He remembers the words that now feel like a commandment. Delete the distraction, or delete your dreams. The phrase resonates with a raw, undeniable truth. The future he desires requires sacrifice, discipline, and relentless focus. He realizes that nothing in life of real value has ever been achieved without conscious effort and singular dedication. Every great accomplishment, every skill mastered, every goal realized has demanded sustained attention, patience, and sometimes the courage to turn away from temporary pleasure. The suspense of possibility and consequence hangs heavily over him, for he knows that every moment wasted in distraction is an opportunity lost forever. Yet within that tension lies empowerment. He begins to see that he has the ability to choose. No one can steal his time without his permission, and no one can decide his future but himself. With this realization comes a sense of urgency and clarity, a quiet but powerful determination that whispers that change is possible, but only if he is willing to act. Slowly, the picture becomes clear. To achieve his dreams, he must prioritize focus over fatigue, discipline over desire, action over avoidance. It is not easy, and it will not happen overnight. But the first step is conscious awareness, seeing the distractions for what they truly are, understanding their impact, and making the deliberate choice to reclaim his life. In this moment, he knows that energy will follow focus. The mind that is trained to direct attention will discover strength it never knew it had. And as he takes the first small steps toward eliminating distraction, he feels a spark of hope, a sense of momentum building, and a quiet confidence that he can achieve the goals he once thought were distant or unattainable. The message is clear. The path to success demands a choice. And the choice is simple yet profound. Delete the distraction or delete your dreams. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.